Marianne's early life was marked by struggles. She experienced a turbulent adolescence, which included running away from home multiple times. In 1966, age 16, Brachmeier had her first child, whom she placed for adoption as an infant. She became pregnant again at the age of 18 by her boyfriend. Brachmeier was raped shortly before the birth of her second child. Her second child was also placed for adoption as an infant. Brachmeier began dating the manager of Tapasa, a pub where they both worked. In 1972, she became pregnant for the third time at the age of 22. On November 14, 1972, Brachmeier's third child, Anna, was born, and she raised her alone. As a result, Brachmeier took Anna to work at the pub, and she was said to never feel a need to rush home after her regular hours behind the bar. On May 5, 1980, Anna Brachmeier, then 7 years old, skipped school after a disagreement with her mother and was abducted by Klaus Grabowski, a 35-year-old convicted sex offender. Grabowski, who had a history of child abuse, held Anna captive for several hours before strangling her with his fianki's tights. He then placed her body in a box and left it by a canal. Grabowski was quickly apprehended by the police and confessed to the crime. He claimed Anna had wanted to run away from home, which led to his panic and subsequent actions. The trial of Klaus Grabowski began on March 3, 1981. Due to his criminal background and the nature of the crime, the case attracted substantial media attention. On March 6, 1981, Marianne Brachmeier smuggled a small-caliber pistol into the courtroom where Grabowski's trial was being held. During a break in the proceedings, she pulled out the gun and shot Grabowski in the back, killing him instantly. She fired the weapon 7 times, hitting him 6 times. Marianne was immediately arrested and charged with murder. The trial took place in Elbeck, Germany, and was highly publicized, drawing intense media attention and public interest. Her defense team argued that Marianne's actions were driven by the extreme emotional and psychological distress caused by the murder of her daughter, Anna. They claimed that she was temporarily insane at the time of the shooting, a defense known as diminished responsibility in German law. The prosecution acknowledged Marianne's grief but argued that taking the law into her own hands and committing a premeditated murder could not be justified. They emphasized the importance of upholding the rule of law and ensuring that even those accused of heinous crimes have the right to a fair trial. The court found Marianne Brachmeier guilty of manslaughter rather than murder, recognizing her extreme emotional state. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison. However, due to the circumstances and public sympathy, she served only 3 years before being released on parole in 1985. After her release, Marianne sought to rebuild her life away from the media spotlight. She moved to Nigeria, where she married and tried to find some measure of peace. Eventually, she returned to Germany, where she continued to live a relatively quiet life. Despite her attempts to move on, the events surrounding her daughter's murder and her own actions remained a significant part of her identity and public memory. In her later years, Marianne Brachmeier faced health issues. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and passed away on September 17, 1996, at the age of 46.